Hey guys, just another addition to the index law videos, and in this one I'm going to have a look at index law 4 and 5. If you haven't seen the previous video, I'd suggest you do so because these index laws really come from, or they're in addition to, index law number 3. So for index law 4, we've got two variables that are inside brackets, and they're both to the power of m. So if you ever have this situation, what you need to do is multiply the indices of both a and b by m. So you'll end up with a to the power of m and b to the power of m. Now index law 5 is essentially the same sort of a rule, but it's just with a fractional form. So if you've got a divided by b and it's to the power of m, so all of it in brackets, then it equals a to the power of m divided by b to the power of m. So basically for both of these rules, no matter what you have inside your brackets, everything or all the indices get multiplied by this power of m. So a couple of examples. For the first one, we've got 2x to the power of 3. So it's going to be 2 to the power of 3 multiplied by x to the power of 3. And you can change that. 2 to the power of 3, that's 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, x to the power of 3. Now for number 2, what we need to do is multiply each of these indices by the power of 4. So it's going to be 5 to the power of 4, c, 2 times 4 is 8, and d, 3 times 4 is 12. For the next one, sometimes you're going to have negatives as well. So in this case, it's going to be negative 3, and I'm going to put it in brackets because the negative squared as well, multiplied by r squared. And if you'd like to, negative 3 multiplied by negative 3. So negative 3 squared is 9, so you're left with 9 r squared. Now sometimes you're going to have numbers on the outside of the bracket, just like this. So this number here isn't going to be squared. It's only the things that are inside the bracket. So this is going to end up becoming negative 4. P to the power of 4 squared is p to the 8. And you're going to have q squared and r squared as well. So I'll do a couple of division ones with the fractional form. So for this one, it's going to be x to the power of 4 on top of y to the power of 4 on the bottom. So it's fairly simple. For question number 6, I'm going to do it all in one step. So I need to square each individual thing everywhere. So that's going to become 5 squared w to the power of 8 y squared divided by 2 squared x to the power of 6. Now I can try to simplify this a little bit. Do it over here. So 5 squared is 25. And we've still got w to the power of 8 y squared on top of 2 squared, which is 4 x to the power of 6. And I can't simplify this any further because all my bases for these are all different. So I can't use any of the other index laws. For this one of the last ones, same idea as the one previously, but I have got a negative number in here which you need to be careful of. But the same idea, I need to square every single one of the numbers that are in here. So it's going to be negative 5 squared. And again, just remember the brackets here. Just to remind you that you are multiplying, you are squaring this negative number. I'm going to have w to the power of 8 y squared divided by 2 squared, which is 4 z, and then I've got x to the power of 6 because 3 times 2 is 6. Again, I can try and simplify this a little bit. Negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. So I'm going to have 25. Still going to have w to the power of 8 y squared on top of 4z x to the power of 6. And there's nothing I can really do in order to simplify that any further. But it's good practice just to check to see if there's any other index laws you can use. So last one, sometimes you are going to have to, just like in all the other videos I've made, they do get a little bit more complicated. And more often than not, you'll be multiplying fractions or you'll be dividing fractions. Now in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cube each of these variables, and I'm going to square each of these variables first, and then I'll try to combine them. So I'm going to have a to the power of 3 cubed, so that's going to be a, 3 times 3 is 9, b cubed divided by c cubed, multiplied by a squared, c to the power of 4 times 2, which is 8, divided by b squared. Now, when I try, what I can do now is I can multiply my fractions together. So you multiply the top line, multiply the bottom line. So you're going to be using index law number 1 as well now. So a to the power of 9 multiplied by a squared is going to be a to the power of 9 plus 2, which is 11. And I can't join the b and the c, so it's going to be b to the power of 3, c to the 8 on top. And on the denominator, I'm just going to be left with c to the power of 3 and b squared. Now, a couple of these have the same bases, so I can try simplify my b cubed and the b squared, and I can simplify the c to the power of 8 and c cubed at the bottom. The a I can't do anything with, so I'm going to be left with him up at the top. B to the power of 3 divided by b squared is b to the power of 3 minus 2, which is 1. I'm not going to bother writing it there. And for my c's, it's going to be c to the power 8 divided by c cubed is c to the power of 8 minus 3, which is 5. And I can't join these because they have different bases. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.